Good day to our distinguished panelists and organizer of the 9th National Business and Management Conference. I am Sarah Monzon Po, PhD in Business student from De La Salle University, and I am here today to present to you my research entitled Assessing the Level of Sustainability Practices Adoption of Small and Medium Enterprise Tourist Accommodation in Selected Regions in the Philippines. My presentation includes introduction, theoretical and conceptual frameworks, methodology, results, discussions, and recommendation. Let me begin my presentation by defining the word sustainability. It is defined as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, according to Commission on Environment and Development 1987. Even before pandemic, tourism sustainability practices have been a common issue among tourism establishments. Haydari et al. 2018 demonstrated that sustainability practices in tourism has risen as one of the most important and speediest developing businesses worldwide. Large corporations were able to build their sustainable environment, while SME find it challenging to adopt these practices. According to Buchan and Short, 2021, until today, progress in practice and business is still insufficient and sustainable business model innovation has lagged. Thus, sustainability practices adoption is still a significant concern to most small and medium tourist accommodations that would cause a substantial effect on their competitive advantage. Therefore, research on how this tourism accommodation, small and medium enterprise sustainability practices adoption has been a topic of concern. The purpose of this study is to assess the level of sustainability practices adoption in small and medium-sized accommodation and its possible impact on competitive advantage. This study adopted the literature of Zhang and Hassan in 2019. Therefore, the research problems were derived for this study according to its objective, as follows. For the framework, this study adopted the theoretical framework of Zhang and Hassan 2019, and the framework used the literature, and this literature are TOE framework, which is the Technology, Organization, Environment Framework developed by Tornatsky and Fleischer in 1990 and resource-based view theory by Barney in 1991 that specifies the three factors, which is the technological, organizational, and environmental. This is to determine the assessment level of sustainability practices adoption of small and medium tourist accommodation. The researcher came up with a conceptual framework which moderating variable was placed together with the independent variable to be able to answer the given questions and hypotheses. And there are 9 hypotheses derived for this study as follows. For the methodology, this study used a descriptive design and causal in nature. This method uses quantifiable information that were used in descriptive and inferential analysis. As per computation, using Slovin's formula, the sampling size of 344 were arrived, but due to awareness of time and pandemic, 44 respondents were gathered. For reliability testing, the Cronbach alpha was used in the instrument with a value of 0.936, which indicate internal consistency, and no items were dropped based on reliability testing. For data collection procedure, data were gathered using Google Forms sent to the various email of accommodation listed on Department of Tourism website and to the professional networks of the researcher. Lastly, the data were analyzed using descriptive analysis, correlation analysis, linear regression, mediation, and with the use of Jamovi. For the research, question 1, 2, and 3, descriptive analysis was performed. For research question 1, this was answered using descriptive analysis, getting the frequencies of variables, resulted to very strong agree with 52.02%. These are the top management support, employee culture, tourism intermediary sustainability practices, collaboration, and innovation of tourism firms. For research question 2, frequencies of demographic profile was performed. Respondents were 56% employees of tourism accommodation under corporation with 52.3%, with mostly 15 years of operation with 34%, and 72% of the respondents utilizes the energy saving in their accommodation. For correlation analysis, this was used to analyze the correlation of each variable, resulting from weak to moderate to strong and very strong correlation to all independent variables. For research question 3, based on the result of the linear regression, null hypothesis 1 to 7 were rejected because the independent variables p-values are less than 5% level of significance and accept alternative hypotheses. For research question number 4, this was answered by linear regression, wherein sustainable practice adoption as mediating variable was regressed together with the competitive advantage as the dependent variable. The p-value of all IV or independent variable, which is 0.000, is lesser than the 5% level of significance. Therefore, the null hypothesis, which states that all independent variables has no influence on competitive advantage in tourism accommodation, small and medium enterprise in selected regions in National Capital and Palawan, is rejected. Moreover, research question 5 was answered through linear regression, wherein all determinants of the TOE were regressed individually and resulted to reject null, accept all alternative hypotheses. Lastly, hypothesis 9 was answered through mediation analysis. Result shows that tourism intermediary sustainability practices has a complete significant mediation on competitive advantage, while the other remaining determinants of TOE, which is the TI, TMS, EC, LAS, GTSP, CITF, with path A and B has no direct effect on competitive advantage. For the discussion, in research question 1, top management support, employee culture, tourism intermediary sustainability practices, collaboration, innovation of tourism firms significantly influences the sustainability practices adoption. Moreover, for research question 2, the most utilized technological facilities are energy-saving devices, according to employees of corporation running the business for 15 years and above, and all independent variables has weak to very strong correlation. Also, for research question 3, technological organization, environment determinants has a significant influence on sustainable practices adoption. Furthermore, research question number 4, there is a significant positive relationship between sustainability practices adoption and competitive advantage in tourism, small and medium enterprise. And for research question 5, TOE, the technology, organization, and environment determinants have a positive influence on the competitive advantage in tourism accommodation, small and medium enterprise. Lastly, this means that only one independent variable, the tourism intermediaries sustainability practices, has a complete significant mediation on competitive advantage, and the rest has no direct effect on competitive advantage. For the recommendation, Department of Tourism are encouraged to develop a program on how to create a good improvised technological facility for recycling water and waste management facilities to help those small and medium tourism accommodation who cannot afford to adopt this practice. Likewise, for future researchers may use this study as their basis to further assess the adoption of sustainability practices of other regions in the country or nationwide. For LGU, local government unit, they could create a program that will make the residents participate in their activities to make their community a unique, safe, and clean destination. This program should have outcomes, activities, and evidence to make sure the consistency of the program. Moreover, small and medium enterprise tourist accommodation, this is to encourage the owners and managers to create their own company's sustainability policy and adopt the sustainability practices to help achieve the sustainability goal and to add value to its competitive advantage. And lastly, tourism association or organization can help formulate a template on company sustainability policy together with training program that incorporates technological, organizational, and environmental sustainability practices. For management implication, this study will give insights from top-level management down to employees on how they can improve their sustainability adoption despite the challenges experienced during the pandemic. I believe that continuously assessing the level of sustainability practices adoption of small and medium tourist accommodation with support from the government, from the community, and private organization will create a better and sustainable tourism accommodation businesses. Again, this is Sarah Monzon po. Thank you so much for listening.